Hello, and welcome to Totally Schway, a podcast about the DCAU and whatever else I want it to be about. See, it changed up a little bit there.
I didn't notice.
I know. How are you today, Luke, the co-host of this podcast?
I'm generally well, thank you, Mary, actual host of the podcast. How are you doing?
Well, there's more sunshine, which has been nice.
Mm-hmm.
I'm hoping for a little bit more spring weather. I checked the Oklahoma weather, the city that I'm from, my hometown, and at some point this week it is going to be 92 degrees Fahrenheit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's past 100 degrees in California. Some of my work colleagues were telling me. They're saying that the height it was going to just go over 100.
Yeah.
Which, for people that use a proper measurement of weather, that's like 40 degrees.
You mean like a different one, not a proper
It's a proper
one.
one. One that makes sense, where 0 is freezing and 100 is boiling.
I still use Fahrenheit.
Listen, I say this as a British person, and the British forced Fahrenheit on the rest of the world.
And then they went back to the metric system, didn't they?
Well, the metric system was created afterwards, I believe. And because it makes more sense.
They ended up going to something different, just like most the British things.
No, we went to metric.
Anywho,
yeah.
Fahrenheit all the way. Do you have any news for me today?
I have a very small piece of news I can share.
What is it about how cute Gilgamesh
No,
has been this week?
No, nothing to do with him.
He's been given like great cuddles.
Yeah, the cat Gilgamesh, for those that don't know him. No, so the piece of news that is relevant for people that like the DC animated universe is that Upper Deck, they're a trading card company.
Yeah.
They're doing a set of Batman the Animated Series trading cards coming out soon, they say. I don't have a release date.
Oh.
Yes, but one of the cool things about it is they've got autograph cards in there that have been signed by the voice actors. There is apparently even a rare Super Chase card where they've taken an existing Kevin Conroy signature, cut it out, and attached it to this trading card. I've not seen it. I've just seen them mention that it exists.
It's a bit odd, but interesting, the signature thing.
What's odd about having signed trading cards?
No, that's not odd. That's actually really cool. But taking a signature he signed on something else and then putting it on something else, like as in like cutting it out. Because if it's just cutting the actual signature out, that's fine.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
It's not like a computer generated.
No.
Okay, no. That's fine. It's not odd.
His physical signature. At least this is my understanding based on what I read. Actually, I was reading it last night. But based on what I read, they said they took one of his existing signatures and cut it out and attached it to a new trading card.
Yeah, that's fine. I just thought you were saying like they were like digitally doing it. I'm like, that's not okay.
No. That's not an autograph. That's a picture. But the trading cards will feature stills from the episodes, production drawings, and also more modern artists' drawings of that have been inspired by the series. So that's cool. I'm considering ordering some boxes when they come out, and I don't know if I'll ever open them.
Let's just say he's not considering it. He's had it planned.
Yeah.
I didn't even know about this until just now.
Well, I was only thinking. I was only thinking about it just before we started recording. I thought, I'll probably get a couple of them.
Yeah, he's gonna. Not probably, he will if he's able to.
Depends what the shipping costs, though, because Do
you want to know something? I tried to get. There's this thing about hyping products up that I like when a product is hyped up like this, for example, because it's a very niche, very cool thing, and it's very nostalgic. But when it comes to things like, as you know, what happened this week is I was trying to get theater tickets for my niece. And they're to Hamilton, and it was for the thing from like July to September for one of the original cast members are going to be in it. Oh my God, how ridiculous is it to get tickets like that on things? It's like, and with like the Labubu craze and stuff like that. I like a Labubu, but I am not going to get up at 4 a.m.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm already usually half awake.
I mean, the same thing happens with like back in the day with the Mondo prints of the Batman the Animated Series prints. they used to sell out almost immediately, which was infuriating. Bottleneck Gallery, their stuff sells out fairly quickly, but if you get there within the first 10 minutes, then you can usually get what you want, unless it's like one of the ultra limited things like not articulated, what's lenticular, that's the word I was looking for.
Oh, do you know something that pisses me off even more than um like when things are overhyped like
Mm,
that? Not the posters and stuff like the boo boos and the tickets and stuff like
mm-hmm.
that, are when people will buy like 10 of something and then they end up selling it. And I think that's ridiculous because like especially with like the Batman stuff or some of the Barbie things that have come out over the years, there are people like that actually have saved up for those things, have taken the time out of their very, busy days, and they've, tried to get that, and they've been thinking about it for ages and ages and ages, and then, they can't buy something because other people have, bought with intention of reselling. And I think that's just BS
Mm-hmm.
because you should, if it's something limited like that, there's no problem, you know, reselling things that like are vintage and things like that. But just, you know, purposefully doing stuff like that when something just came out, knowing that it is going to end up going for an extortionate price on the resale market is bullshit to me.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's unfair, and not necessarily because it happens to me a lot, because I'm not really that type of. It's very rare that I want to get a certain product that I can't get like right then because I've had issues with that, so I just don't. Um, but it's just other people have saved up and they have, it's the time and the fandom. There are people that are really fans of those things,
Mm-hmm.
and other people ruin it. Like, oh, that just breaks my heart.
Yeah.
So, by the way, I'm not dogging Mondo or anything because they're actually selling stuff from artists, and it is good that they're not just constantly reprinting things because the artist needs that sort of advertising,
Mm-hmm.
I think that's cool. And Bottleneck, I like them. They're pretty fair.
Yeah.
Now my rant's over.
Yeah, and that's the relevant section of the podcast. Over. Everyone's going to tune out now.
Yeah. All right. So today I wanted to talk about Luke's favorite character, uh, Nightwing, from BTAS slash Batman New Adventures of Batman and Robin.
No.
No, I do that all the time. Like I'll be thinking of an episode or whatever, and I could see it in my head what it is, right? I'm like, yeah, that's the title, and then something else will come out. It's like when my mom or my grandma would say my name, it would be like Candelaria, Charlie, Dennis Hopper, Marlon Brando. Oh, Mary. Somebody knows what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I don't.
Yeah, when like your mom's trying to say your name, but she'll say everybody else's. Not your mom,
Yeah,
because
no,
I've not heard her
yes,
do
you're
that.
talking about collective. Yeah,
Yeah.
my grandmother used to always say my uncle's name and then go and then say
Yeah,
my mum's name. And go,
yeah, something like that.
yeah.
But I'll do that with the titles.
Mm.
Like for some reason, there's a Green Lantern episodes that in my head, like I'm like, he was never in that. John Stewart was never in that. And then I'm like, oh, it's just Superman. And I'm like, it's not super. I know damn well it's not, but my voice outside says it. Anyhow, Nightwing.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about Nightwing, who was in the DCAU, the first Robin.
Nightwing sucks.
That's not true. That's not true.
No, I make it clear that I don't really care for the sidekicks in the slightest. There are a couple of episodes that I do like that have got the sidekicks in them, but generally speaking, don't really care for the concept of sidekicks. But Robin's Reckoning, for instance, in Batman the Animated Series, that's a good two-parter. Very good, well written, beautifully animated as well for the most part. Second part not as strong, but anyway. But yeah, Nightwing is kind of like the evolution of Robin. So he starts out as Batman's sidekick, the kid boy wonder, has to do as he's told, becomes resentful of how controlling Batman is, and he heads off to become his own man.
Can I tell you what my description of Robin is?
Yeah,
Angsty teen.
in Batman the Animated Series.
No, when he becomes Nightwing.
Oh, I see. I see.
Like teen
Well,
adult.
he's an adult by that point. Yeah,
Yeah, young adult.
he's going to be in his 20s, mid 20s, maybe even by that point.
Yeah.
But you've kind of hit the nail on the head a bit there. So I did a video ages ago where I said Nightwing never escaped Batman's shadow, which is true. But it's almost like he's doing his best Batman impression. He comes back in an all-black costume with a brightly coloured symbol on his chest,
Oh, the hair. No, the
and the
outfit's
mullet.
fine. The
Yeah.
outfit's fine. It's the hair.
Well, that outfit, I am going to go out on a limb and say Bruce Timm designed that, because Bruce Timm has a habit of doing like silhouettes, character designs that look like silhouettes, but then they've got a bold splash of color. Another example of that is Clayface in Batman Cape Crusader, where he's all black, but then he's got that red scarf around his face.
Do you know what it reminds me of? Even the Clayface one. It reminds me of Shadows.
Yeah.
So I wonder if that's purposeful.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's just like they're a shadow rather than you know.
Rather than a person.
Yeah, it is exactly what you said. It's a silhouetted shadow.
Yeah, and that's psychologically revealing, because in Jungian psychology there is the shadow self.
Would you call me?
What did you say about my mother?
What do I say? Like, would you call my mother?
Yes. Yeah,
You've never called my mother anything, but
other than
it's
her name.
yeah. I have no idea where I got that from, but it was probably somewhere on the internet or a movie from the 90s.
Yeah, well, I've kind of lost my train of thought now. But yeah. So the interesting thing is that between the end of Batman the Animated Series, or the Adventures of Batman and Robin in those later episodes, and the start of the new Batman adventures, Dick Grayson had gone away.
Mm-hmm.
And they didn't actually reveal what happened until almost the end of the series.
So like the third episode from the end, or
I don't remember the exact episode numbers off the top of my head. But they did, at the time, they published a tie-in comic written by Hilary Bader, who was one of the series writers, that actually fleshed it all out. So for those that were like super keen and like really involved in these shows, you got the answer in the comics that chances are you were probably already buying. And then they adapted them in the episode Old Wounds much later on. And he got fed up of Batman's controlling nature. He'd just graduated university, got his degree, and then he went off and did his own journey of self-discovery, similar to Batman, where he went around the world and learnt new skills, and including meeting a bunch of Tibetan monks who had kind of an amulet that allowed them to glide, and they wore the similar kind of costume to the one that he wears.
so he glides via an amulet, or
Yeah, it's the blue logo on his chest is the thing that. Well, if you go by the comic, you'd wear the amulet around your neck, but then he's got something similar built into his suit.
oh, neat.
You could just say it's the little wings that pop out.
I mean,
under
that's
his
what I was thinking,
arms.
like the gliders.
Yeah,
But
because he can't fly, but he can glide.
it's pretty cool.
It is pretty cool. I really liked that his like first adventure when he left, he went south down into a fictional Latin American country, and yet he couldn't seem to escape Gotham because Two-Face was there setting up a like a drug empire. So he was basically bullying the local cartels into providing him with drugs, which he would then smuggle into Gotham and sell. It's all tied into Two-Face's decline in that series, but anyway, that's an entirely separate matter.
So I want to talk about something that is probably really obvious to most people, but do you think that Bruce and, or I'm going to say Batman and Nightwing, do you think they were trauma bonded together?
Well, maybe. I mean, they both experienced separate traumas that were very similar. I think it is presented as, kind of a parental relationship that is strained fairly regularly throughout the series. Like they often argue.
Bruce Wayne is not a good father,
No, probably
but
not.
he would be a spectacular uncle.
Yeah, a spectacular weekend dad.
No, uncle. Not even a weekend dad. He's the uncle that you see at the barbecue, like, that's there for maximum 25 minutes. He talks to as many people as he can in that 25 minutes, sometimes in a huge group. So people will know that he was there. And they
Mhm.
can all say, "Oh yeah, I saw him there." And then because it was that huge group, everybody thinks it was a lot longer than it was, and then he leaves and nobody says anything about it.
Mhm. Yes.
That is exactly Bruce Wayne.
Mhm.
And then he goes off to be Batman.
Yeah, and it's funny for as much as Dick Grayson keeps saying, I'm nothing like him. He is very much
Yeah.
like Batman. Even it's got to be subconscious. He can't consciously be thinking, "Yeah, I'm going to come back in an all black costume with a colourful logo on the chest." Um, he's just even down to like how surly he is.
Yeah, it's so in the show, Batman's outfit is not just all black. It's the
No,
cape and it's gray and stuff. So
yeah.
he is basically doing what some teenagers do and what some uh people do when they're younger is they're trying to be darker. They're trying to be different. They're trying to do this and this, and then it's like, child, you were always gonna be exactly who you want to be in this little phase of your life.
hmm
Get over it.
The thing I do quite like is that he's not like massively involved in like the Bat family in the series. He pops in when he's needed, but he's often off doing his own thing.
Hmm. In what
Um,
town?
well, in Gotham still for this show.
Hmm.
Yeah, he's still running around Gotham, but he's kind of doing his own thing.
Yeah.
I like in You Scratch My Back is where he teams up with Catwoman to bring in some smugglers. And, it's kind of like this awkward thing where he's pairing up with his dad's ex-girlfriend, and it seems like there might be a romantic relationship between them, but obviously Catwoman's playing him and he
Hmm.
knows that, but really he was playing her.
Hmm.
And so was Batman was like, yeah, lean into this, string her along.
Yeah. By the way, I want to say something about what I said earlier
Go ahead.
about the get over it phase thing. Some people, that isn't a phase to them. That true goth style is like life, which is cool. But I hate people that are posers just
Mm-hmm.
because they want to make their parents or their guardians or whatever like, F you, mom and dad.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
So yeah,
okay.
Nightwing is in his poser phase.
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah, and the thing is, I think that I generally, the impression I get is that most of the people, maybe not most of the people, but many of the key decision makers that worked on Batman the animated series and the follow up shows didn't really care for the concept of Robin or Dick Grayson all that much. If they didn't have to use him, they probably wouldn't have used him. They drew inspiration from the Denny O'Neil and Neil Adams era of Batman comics, where Robin was shipped off to university and was off doing his own thing, whereas Batman was by himself with Alfred running around the city. And if I think that if they had their way, particularly someone like Bruce Timm and maybe even Alan Burnett as well, then Robin wouldn't have been there at all.
Mhm.
But he was there. He allowed them to tell different types of stories. Robin can do things that Batman cannot do, like go undercover as a teen, for instance.
Heard.
You'll remember in Baby Doll, he's impersonates cousin Spunky. I think Batman would have a hard time impersonating cousin Spunky, but he'd probably try and figure it out. Um, and really, it's just he adds depth to the stories and breadth to the stories. Actually, breadth is probably the better word rather than depth. Um, you'll notice that in a lot of episodes, Robin is kind of in peril, someone that Batman has to rescue, like in Bane or not House and Garden. Which one was it? The Demon's Quest. It was House and Garden where Dick Grayson got kidnapped, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the
I
one.
was thinking about that.
Um, so I kind of feel like they often didn't. treat him as a particularly strong character in his own right. That's not to say they never did, because obviously there's Robin's Reckoning. He had a fairly prominent role in If You're So Smart, Why Aren't You Rich? Because he was the one that knew about the computer game that the Riddler had designed.
Mm-hmm.
He was the one that knew the answers to some of the puzzles just because he'd done them in the game. But generally, he was like, he was the one that was piloting the plane in the Demon's Quest to pick up Batman.
Mm-hmm.
Um, he was, he was there. He was just there.
I think, and I don't know how many people will agree with me on this, but I think that character, Dick Grayson, was used in a good way
Mm-hmm.
to do, little things, not little things, but things like that, little parts of the story like that, because those little parts are huge impacts on the rest of the story. And I think having a sidekick, you really need to use them well,
Mm-hmm.
but you don't use them. They should know what your next move is
Mm-hmm.
already. And that's exactly what Dick Grayson does most of the time. Um, Batman, on the other hand, obviously knows about 6, 7, 8, 9 steps ahead of what he's going to do next. But he has that a tiny bit of comfort in knowing that Dick will always um, be there to help.
Yeah.
And that's awesome. And it's not these, you know, oh, I'm just gonna go get you some coffee. It's like, oh yeah, I'm gonna just tell you to duck when there's like flying daggers somewhere.
Yes. Yeah. He obviously was more prominent in like the latter section of the show when it became the Adventures of Batman and Robin.
Mm-hmm.
But you'll also notice that there were episodes where, okay, he was there, but they wrote him out as quickly as they could, like in Riddler's Reform, where when they're trying to stop the jewelry shop robbery, they write Robin out of the episode by having a big heavy bookcase fall on his leg. And he's like, oh no, I've got to sit in the Batcave with a busted leg for the rest of the episode.
You know damn well Alfred could have come in there, and he would have been like, "I've got you."
Yeah.
He would have like lifted it up like with his tea, like his tray of tea and coffee on one side,
Yeah.
one hand, lifted it up like, "Come on now, Master Dick, get up, tea."
And it's funny that, given at least what I think, based on things that I've read and things that people have told me, based on my experience with what happens in the show, in a way, I'm kind of surprised that they bothered to put Nightwing in the new Batman Adventures, but I think it was impossible to resist.
I will never forgive them for this.
For what?
Giving him that hair.
But he had that hair in the comics.
I don't forgive the person who did that. I never will. I've
Yeah.
never liked mullets. I can't. The only person that's really looked good in a mullet was Kristen Stewart.
Thought you were going to say Dog the Bounty Hunter.
Ew, no. I don't like that person.
No, no. But I actually really like what they did in Sins of the Father, which in my mind is the first episode of the new Batman Adventures because it sets up the new Robin. But they go pretty much the whole episode of
Good episode.
Yeah, they go pretty much the whole episode without saying where Dick Grayson is, and they've got this Robin costume in a display cabinet. It's not even Dick Grayson's costume because there's no green on it, and it's anyway. That's an entirely separate matter. But Tim Drake's like, "Oh, what happened to Robin?" And they're like, "Oh, well, we'll get to that."
Don't even go there.
Now, the image of a Robin costume in a glass display cabinet has got a very different meaning if you read Batman comics at the time. I think it first appeared.
And that is?
It first appeared in The Dark Knight Returns, and the implication was that Robin had been murdered, and this was like a memorial to him. And years later, when they did A Death in the Family, when the Joker killed Jason Todd, the second Robin, they brought that imagery into the present because The Dark Knight Returns is set in the future when Batman's an old man. So as a comic book reader that is familiar with the Batman universe, when you see a Robin costume in a display cabinet and no one's talking about Dick Grayson at all, or they're avoiding talking about him, you think, oh, did he get killed? Was he died? That would be bold.
Oh,
But no.
that's something in life that bugs me so much.
What's that?
Is when like you have friends or family or just like random people that like something's happened, but you're not allowed to bring it up. It's
Hmm.
like, don't be dumb.
Hmm.
Like this is probably why some people don't understand me. It's like because I love information, like even if it's like traumatic or something.
Hmm.
Like I'd be like, Bruce, just tell me.
Hmm.
Like, what is it? I'm gonna ask Alfred, and you know I will.
Hmm.
Just what is it? Huh? And I do it like every day. And he would give me the information I wanted.
Hmm.
But I hate that, don't you? Like there's this whole like thing you can't talk about. Like if somebody's been like disowned or they're estranged or something, like, don't talk about this person. It's like,
Uh,
but I want to. I want them to not be disowned and not be estranged or something.
hmm.
Not that he was either.
No, well, actually, that could have been something that had happened as well. But then, why would they have the Robin costume in the display cabinet?
Yeah.
Maybe as a memorial of who he used to be.
Yeah.
But yeah, I really liked how they they hinted at that, and then at the end of the episode, he turns up, and everyone's surprised to see him, and he says, "Hey, can't be a boy wonder forever."
Yeah, I think they did that episode very well.
Yes, and it would have worked perfectly as the first episode of the show rather than Holiday Nights, because Holiday Nights just spoiled a whole bunch of stuff.
Hey, shut up.
Holiday Nights works perfectly as the last episode.
No,
Yeah, it does.
Holiday Nights is one of the best episodes
Yeah,
ever.
yeah, it's fantastic. It's a really great episode, but putting it first, in my mind, was a mistake.
Shut
Put it at the end, and then it's a beautiful
But
ending.
it came out around Christmas, didn't it?
No, it came out in September.
Are you
Yeah, so
serious?
there was no point in even doing it. It was like September. I swear it was September. I'm gonna have to look this up.
Well, these days it's. I mean,
Yeah, these.
August.
Yeah,
It,
these.
I have started. Well, actually, I have got 5 days. No, more than that of the Advent calendar sorted already.
Hmm. That's
So
good.
yeah,
That's very good.
just want you guys to know. Should I tell them the theme?
Yeah, go on then.
It's Superman the animated series.
Oh,
Yeah, you
it,
thought it was gonna be something else because you thought it was gonna be Batman
I
Beyond.
did think that. Yeah,
But that one's a little bit more, um
niche.
no, it's just there's more stuff, and I don't wanna just buy, like, all of it.
Hmm.
I wanna actually be quite logical about it.
So this is interesting. Just giving everyone a little insight into how my brain works. So I noticed that some of the stuff that I had put on my watch list on eBay that was Superman the animated series related had mysteriously been sold. So now I'm gonna expect some of that stuff to turn up.
Here's the thing, most of it wasn't bought on eBay,
Most of it, but some of it.
and it wasn't anything on your wish list.
It wasn't.
Nope.
So you didn't get the Metallo figure.
No.
Damn, that's really hard to find. All
I
right, I'm gonna go look for it
I
then.
didn't know, because I was asking you, was it Friday?
Mhm.
Because I didn't know which, account that you were using.
Yeah.
So that's I wanted to go and look, but, though I had already bought the things at the time,
Hmm.
and they were already in the mail.
Well, that's fine. I'll go looking for a Metallo figure then.
Mhm.
I saw one in Canada, and I was like, do I want to pay the postage?
I wanna go to Canada.
Yeah.
Do you think Nightwing would have gone to Canada?
Well, I don't know. He ends up going to Bloodhaven, as everybody
Mm.
knows.
Maybe that's Toronto or something,
No, it's like
or Vancouver.
it's the next town over from Gotham.
Shh, let me have my dream.
It's like going from New York to, I don't know, New Jersey.
Yeah, it's
So I've talked a lot about my opinion on Nightwing, and you know what? I'm not even like I'm not like a hater. I'm not saying he must not exist. Get rid of him. Rah, rah, rah.
hello, Google Mesh.
I don't care. It's funny. Out of like most of the DC comics, the main ones I don't buy are Nightwing related ones. Like I don't buy the Titans. I don't buy Nightwing. I don't buy the mainline Flash or Green Lantern either because I've lost interest in them. But I get almost everything else. But what are your thoughts, Mary?
Honestly, angsty teen, angsty young adult.
But do you like him?
I do. It's just I'm not usually one to judge someone on their appearance in a bad way because I like to see the best in everybody, and I think what somebody else thinks of as a flaw is a beauty mark
Hmm.
in others' eyes. But that hair, if it had been any other hair, it would have been fine. I know I keep going on about that, but Nightwing as a whole, I think the way that the character progressed, although obvious, like what was gonna happen,
Hmm.
because um, you have Kid is not happy with how they, you know, were raised and their expectations were um, crushed.
Yeah.
We've all been there, but you kind of always knew that that's how the story was gonna go with Nightwing.
Yeah.
That well, anyway, I don't know if it was as obvious for others as it was for me, but we've seen it time and time again.
Do you have any favourite Nightwing moments?
I really like when he works with Barbara.
Yeah.
Because it's so weird because it feels different than when it was Robin and Barbara.
Mm-hmm.
It's it's just like this whole new like friendship, if you will. And I don't know if it's because they now know we know what's going on with each other's nightlife or whatever, but it's so charismatic, but also you feel as if they kind of get each other a little bit more and they understand each other a little bit more, not only in the field but in life.
Yeah, they didn't actually interact all that much, did
Yeah,
they, in the show?
but when they did,
Yeah.
it was really great. Like when they went to go save you know, Bruce from Plant
Oh,
Life.
well, you remember Nightwing didn't go along with them. He was there at the wedding, and he was grouchy about it.
Yeah, but still he was, yeah.
Yeah.
And that was very important because Barbara was there too, wasn't
Yeah,
she?
she was. She was the one
Um
flying the
yeah,
plane.
but it just works so well. Even though, like I said, those small
Hmm.
things are actually big impacts, and it's vital.
Yeah.
But yeah, I like Robin except for the hair.
Do you
Um,
remember the episode Animal Act, the new Batman Adventures episode where Nightwing goes back to the circus after one of the circus animals escapes and commits a robbery?
yeah, that
Yes.
was a good one.
You like that one?
Well, in terms of like, because I'm against like animal cruelty
Mm.
and in every way. I like the fact that you have characters in this show that they see like I don't think Dick saw these animals as animals. He saw them as parts of his family,
Yeah.
people, you know. And that to me was just wonderful. Now the storyline wasn't one of my favorites, but I didn't dislike it.
Hmm.
But I think it was incredible that that behavior was shown.
Yes, yeah, it's often cited as like the worst episode or one of the worst episodes.
Think so?
No, I don't think it's that bad. No, I thought it's kind of an interesting concept of Mad Hatter taking control of animals
Mm-hmm.
to commit crimes for him.
Yeah. But also this show is very much about the animal love as well, like caring for our creatures, caring for our critters just as much as we care for people. And um you see that time and time again. I'm going to use that phrase multiple times today, time and time again. You see it with the ISIS character. You see it with
Hmm.
the circus characters, the circus animal
I've
characters.
forgotten the elephant's name.
So have I.
Oh, I'm told that the scene in Robin's Reckoning Part One where Dick is leaving the circus and the elephant
Yeah.
gives him a hug with the trunk. Apparently, it brought tears to the eyes of Dan Reber and Bruce Timm when they were
Oh,
watching the first cut of it. They were just like,
beautiful.
why does this upset me so?
It's beautiful. But yeah, you see this, and it warms my heart so much because a lot of the times you would see, especially around that time, there were a lot of quite famous experiments going on that were in a few science magazines I got in school where they were using animals to test out certain vaccines and
Hmm.
just regular topical medications, and they were obviously I'm not going to speak for science, but I just feel that that's not the best way forward. But
No.
vaccines are definitely get your vaccines, but there are plenty of people out there that um would help, like as in humans that would
Well,
do it.
yeah, yeah. Well, for instance, like where they test like cosmetic products, like how much bleach can we put in this product before it burns eyes too much? How about we already know that bleach burns eyes. Don't put any in there at all. How about
Mhm.
that? That seems like a sensible
Yeah,
position.
and that seems like something Batman would be, and Nightwing would
Mhm.
kind of be like. not kind of, but fight against.
Yeah.
And I love that. And again, this show has, you know, two characters, especially the Nightwing and Selena Kyle, that love animals so much. And seeing it as a kid, especially with Catwoman, really showed me that I'm not weird for loving animals as much as I do and caring about them. And I'm glad because it wasn't just them showing kids and animals. It was like these are two adults in this show that are very particular about caring for their loved ones, which happen to be, animals. And honestly, that just it warms my heart so much. And it's probably one of the reasons I like watching it so much because you see it in Superman as well because Superman finds these creatures that have no homes anymore.
Mm-hmm.
I say creatures, but these other aliens
Yes.
that don't have homes anymore, and he creates a sanctuary.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, it is kind of replicating the Preserver's zoo, but I mean, what else can he do for?
Yeah. But it's he never says that he's keeping them forever. This is what I always think of. He's just having them in a safe place for now. Because in my mind, he's constantly looking for somewhere else that they could be like roam free and everything.
Mm-hmm.
That's my
Yeah.
thinking of it, but
Yeah, I don't think he ever said that explicitly.
I know, but
I
that's
think
what I
yeah,
think.
that's a fair interpretation to make because he says something in the episode along the lines of, you know, these people need these these beings need a home. We need to find somewhere for.
Yeah, that's the thing is he found his home
Yeah,
and he wants, to
yeah,
find theirs. But
and
anyways, that's
I was
Superman.
just going to say as well in Batman Beyond as well when Starro takes over. Now Starro was one of those creatures from the Preserver's ship,
Yeah.
and they use a boom tube to send Starro back to its home planet. So that was Superman's intention.
Yeah.
If he can find a way to do it, he will do it.
Yeah. And that's a wonderful thing about the DCAU. I can't deny how absolutely wonderful it was. Even though it seems like just one episode that Nightwing did that, it's not just one episode. It creates a backstory about how he feels, not just about his actual backstory, but how he feels about everyone. Like he wants to help everyone and not just beat up bad guys.
Yeah.
And that's an important lesson in all of these shows because yes, you get a lot of beat 'em ups in there, but at the end, the goal is always to have a peaceful place to live without having to do that.
Yes. Yeah. And with you saying that, I'm reminded of the episode's Old Wounds, where one of the reasons why Robin fell out with Batman is Batman beat up a Joker thug
Hmm.
henchman in front of his child.
Yeah.
And like really traumatized his wife and kid, and the guy didn't know anything. I'm drawing a blank on the guy's name.
Mm.
I want to say it was Henry, but I don't think it was. Um, and the revelation at the end of the episode is that Batman saw that the guy didn't know anything, and he gave him an opportunity to sort his life out and gave him a job as a security guard at Wayne
He
Enterprises.
wrote us wrong.
Yeah, and the guy's like, "Oh, Mr. Wade's so wonderful. He always says hello to me. Always asks how my boy's doing."
Hmm.
Yeah, little do you know, he's thinking, "Oh God, I traumatized that boy. Has he
Yeah.
become a costume supervillain?"
But here's the thing. A lot of superheroes that we've seen before that, you didn't see that bit. You never
No.
saw the after. And for me, I always wonder, because you know how I am. I think of like, you create a backstory for them or whatever. But it shows that he noticed what he was doing. He noticed that he was going in a bad direction. And he took that as a lesson, but also he kind of saved the day in a way
Yeah, yeah.
because that guy now has a job, can support his family.
Won't end up in jail. So
Yeah, won't end up in jail. And that kid, although traumatized, will go on and have a good opportunity to live a grand life, and that's awesome.
Yeah, yeah. And something that I talked about in my very recent Poison Ivy video was how, in the early days of Batman's adventures, there he funded Stonegate Prison. He provided Harvey Dent with the money to actually construct it, and that prison's construction didn't actually do anything to make Gotham a better place. They very ironically say, Harvey Dent's campaign promises a better, safer Gotham. And then they very ironically cut to a miserable looking, run-down Gotham saying, a better, safer Gotham. And I think Batman's kind of learned that, prison isn't necessarily the answer. Locking more people up isn't necessarily the answer that he once might have thought it was.
He truly believes in rehabilitation.
Yeah, and people have to want it as well. You can't force people to rehabilitate.
Exactly.
They have to actually want to do it. But
Exactly.
those that do want it should be supported, and that's a very positive message.
I think there are people that I knew when I was younger that probably didn't watch this show that really should have, and I wholeheartedly believe they would have at least thought twice about living a life that they led,
Yeah,
um, because I wholeheartedly believe in rehabilitation, like you said, when somebody actually wants it.
yeah. And the thing is, being a decent person is hard,
Hmm.
but it's not impossible. Most people are decent. I genuinely believe that. There are some people that are not.
But here's the thing, most people don't use sunscreen. And if you would like, I'm joking, it's not an ad.
No, now for a message from our sponsor. Decent people can use VPN.
Start talking about
Manscaped or
sunscreen.
whatever it's called.
Manscaped, ExpressVPN, Skin and Me. I don't know.
You know how many messages I get from companies that, or people that claim to represent companies that want to sponsor content? Loads.
From their ChatGPT emails.
Yeah, some of them are like really obviously, they've used AI
The M
to.
dashes.
Yes, yeah, and the phrasing in particular.
American spelling.
Well, they might just be American.
Unless they're, I've seen some videos about a lot of British companies using ChatGPT, and they use American spelling because that's what ChatGPT gives them.
Ugh.
Nothing against using ChatGPT, by the way.
No, it's more like
PT,
American
PT.
spelling. Ugh.
Yeah, I keep saying ChatGPT or something like that. It's
Yeah.
chat. What is it? GPT.
Yeah, GPT. I
Yeah.
think.
Anyways, we have gone over the 40-minute mark, and
Oh
I
my
think that it's probably time to start winding things
Okay,
down.
all right. So just final thoughts then, Mary. If Dick Grayson was not in Batman the Animated Series / the new Batman Adventures at all, do you think it would be a worse show?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't. But I only say that because my favourite episodes, there's no Robin in them. He's not in Almost Got Him. He's not in Two-Face. He's not in Heart of Ice. He's not in Feet of Clay. He's not even in episodes like, it's Never Too Late or The Forgotten or The Underdwellers.
I
I
think
think it would have been fine without him.
I think a huge part of the Batman that I grew up with and the Batman that I always knew and know is how I see him because of how he took care of the people he loved.
Mm-hmm.
And not just the ladies,
Yes.
but also his kids, his nephews.
Even people he didn't know.
Yeah.
Yes.
And Dick Grayson and Jason Todd were vital.
Jason
Not
Todd?
Jason Todd. What did
Tim Drake.
Tim Drake.
I know why you said Jason Todd.
We were,
He is basically Jason Todd
yeah,
and all but name.
yeah, yeah. We were talking about it a few minutes ago too. But yeah, those two needed to be in this show. I wish they were used a bit more, um, like on their own. But it is what it is.
What I would have quite liked is if Batman the Animated Series had no Robin at all, and then they introduced Jesus, you got me at it now. Dick Grayson in the new Batman adventures, and then that was when Robin started. I think that would have been a happy compromise, because then you still would have got glorious episodes like Growing Pains. But it's all fantasy talk now, because they did what they did, and it was wonderful regardless.
I would, whatever.
Yeah, you don't have a dog in this fight, do you?
Not really, because I just feel like what they've done with this show was beautiful, and there's a reason why I talk about it.
Yeah, same here.
It's not the best podcast ever, but I just want to say thank you guys, because I'm almost at 3,000 subscribers.
Yeah.
And I know that doesn't sound like a massive thing.
Listen.
But I have nearly 3,000 friends.
I know, and this is the thing. Most people on YouTube never get more than a couple of hundred subscribers. I think it's something like, less than, well, only about 10% of YouTubers get over 1,000 subscribers, and then there are I'm drawing a blank on the numbers now. I think it's less than 5% get over 10,000, and less than 1% get over 100,000. So you're in a top tier already. So don't
I don't know if
don't play yourself short.
I don't know if I'm allowed to do this, but
You're gonna spoil something.
I got my own chicken update.
Yeah, well, it's gonna be in the next episode of Flipside.
Yeah, but I'm just gonna say,
all right.
we might be hearing about a new chicken soon.
Well, if we're gonna spoil Flipside stuff, then I can just say that those that enjoyed Harry's fan fiction of Lex Luthor and Mercy Graves will want to tune in, because Harry's moving it to a different platform, and I will tell you all about it on Flipside. Let me just actually load it up on my phone. It's on a website called Wattpad.com, so we'll share that out.
Yeah.
I think this is probably a good time to talk about what's coming up on the next episode of Totally Schway.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about an episode of, or a two-parter, I should say, of Justice League. One that very prominently features Green Lantern.
Hashtag JLass.
Hashtag JLass, yes. Keep up your hashtag JLasses. People notice. I won't get into it. And it's the two-part story Legends, where half of the Justice League ends up in another dimension that is like it's stuck in the 1950s, and they meet the Justice Guild, who are very much analogues of the Justice Society. And we'll talk a little bit about why they took the approach they did in that story, why they didn't adapt the Justice Society directly. And we'll talk about just how cool that episode is.
To you.
No, it definitely is. Season 2 of Justice League is really great.
All right, guys. So the spring is very, very close. And that means summer isn't far behind. And it also means that the weather is going to start getting a little bit warmer and all of that. So hopefully that brings a little bit of our moods up. In a world where our moods are constantly at a level orange. Maybe I could bring it to like down a little to level, yellow. I don't know what's first, yellow or orange. But I do want to give a few reminders out there, and I try to do it a lot. And I don't know if a lot of you guys know this, but I studied beauty in college, along with like lots of stuff about skin and all of that. And I also have an autoimmune disease that makes it to where if I don't go out with sunscreen, I will feel it for the rest of my life. I want you guys just to remember to use like at least a factor 30 when you go out, and don't forget to reapply. But also on top of that, please, please, please stay hydrated. Drink some water. I don't know how much water you want to drink, but I try to drink at least 2 Stanley cups, even though it's probably more like 6.
Yeah, well, the 2 Stanley Cups is about 2 liters.
Yeah, so they're 40 ounces apiece. But yeah, I just want to remind everybody of that, because sometimes we forget, and I care about all of y'all, and I don't want y'all to forget. I don't want y'all to get sick. Also, get some vitamin C and vitamin D. Go outside, touch some grass. You don't have to touch it with your hand. You can actually just look at it because I don't really want to touch grass. And I'm not saying that as in like the insult, like go out touch grass. I'm just saying like um, just getting like 10 minutes of outside time is pretty cool.
Hmm.
I mainly talk to my husband. Go outside for 10 minutes.
No, no.
He's like, no. Ew. All right, guys, I love y'all, and I will see y'all. I will talk to y'all next week. I
Yeah,
might see you soon, though,
you might.
on a video.
Maybe.
Maybe. No promises. Love you guys. Bye.